everybody, this is Dr. Kukreja Kalani, and today I'll be speaking about vitamin B12, that is the vitamin cobalamin. So what causes its deficiency and what are the symptoms of vitamin B12? So if you talk about the symptoms, it basically includes lethargy, body ache, general aches and pains, headache, mouth ulcers, soreness of the mouth, tingling sensation in the tips of the fingers, and paresthesia, that is a peripheral neuropathy. Then we have the memory loss and anxiety and depression also. So these are the symptoms that we look forward for, if we have to diagnose B12. Of course, the laboratory diagnosis will be the final say. Finally, we have to consider the symptoms, that is, a clinical judgment is also very important. Now we come to the causes. Why does the B12 deficiency happen? So what are the risk factors for B12 deficiency? So here we need to understand that as the age group, that is above 70 years, there is an absorption error. So the B12 deficiency is very common. Then we have diseases related to the stomach and the intestines where the absorption error can take place. So basically the IBS or the Crohn's disease, where the internal lining of the cells is disturbed, which hampers the absorption of the vitamin. Then we have alcohol intake, which again causes problem. Then autoimmune diseases, certain autoimmune diseases like pernicious anemia, where a certain factor, that is the intrinsic factor which is required for the B12 transportation to the blood and to the peripheral tissue, is not prepared. So because of the lack of the intrinsic element, the absorption error can happen. Then we have the vegetarian diet. So people who are vegan, so they don't take non-veg food. So here we need to understand that B12 is found more in non-vegetarian food. So because of the food intake and less amount of B12 into it, the people who are vegetarian are more prone to the B12 deficiency. So these are the risk factors. Then what are the two important things which are required for the absorption of B12? So we'll be talking about the same. One thing needs to be understood, that B12 is not produced by the body itself. It is found in food, and after the person ingests the rich food, then it can be converted and produced in the body, which is useful for various purposes, like basically formation of the DNA, that is the genetic material of the cells, and it also helps to maintain the health of the RBCs and the nerve cells. So what are those two factors? Basically it needs an optimum level of acid in the stomach for the body to remove the B12 from the food that you eat. So sometimes when you have too much of antacid, so as to treat your acidity or the reflux problem, that spoils the environment of the stomach and there is less of acid, that hampers the absorption of B12. Then is the intrinsic factor, which is found in the which is formed by the parietal cells. So here, because of certain illnesses like autoimmune diseases, the intrinsic factor is not produced. Now intrinsic factor is very essential for the formation of the B12, and it is transportation from the gut to the blood and from the blood to the peripheral tissues. So if the intrinsic factor is not there in the system, then it is a big problem. So these are the two things which are vital for the absorption of vitamin B12. So this is in brief that I wanted to tell about the symptoms and the causative factor of the deficiency. So now we talk about methods by which we can help the body absorb vitamin B12 from the food we take, so as to maintain the optimum levels of B12 in the system. So for the vegetarian people, we have dairy products such as we have the curd, the milk, and the cheese. Then we also have mushrooms and fortified cereals, which help maintain the levels of the B12 in the body. And for people who are who can take non-vegetarian diet, the rich foods are basically the eggs, meat, chicken, and fish. So these are the things which should be taken, which have high content of B12 in them. Then comes the absorption problem. So people who are upon metformin or who take a contraceptive pill, the 21-day pill, or also people who are on too much of antacids, these are the medication which hamper the absorption of B12 in the system. So whenever you are treating yourself in case of chronic diseases, you can always opt for homeopathy in the long run, so as to maintain the flora of the intestines and the stomach, so that we can maintain good levels of B12 in the system. Then we have the autoimmune disorders, like the where the parietal cells do not secrete the intrinsic factor. So here the autoimmune diseases can be well treated with homeopathy, and the medicines can be given for longer duration of time without fear of any side effects. So and of course, if the vitamin B12 levels are very low, we have to take supplements so as to treat the peripheral neuropathy. So supplements are also essential so as to bring the levels to the optimum level, and then of course we have to keep working upon the absorption of the problem. So medicines in homeopathy which increase the immunity of the person, and also for the long run where there is acidity, headaches, where there is bile upsurge, we can treat them with homeopathy so that the internal flora of the intestine and the stomach is restored and the B12 absorption is good.